You are your biggest enemy. The biggest danger to your potential is yourself. A couple days ago, I didn't want to come out of bed to go to my sales job. I wanted to stay in my dark room with the curtains down, throwing myself deeper and deeper into depression. I told myself that staying in and scrolling a little bit would be better than actually going to my job. And you know how it goes with the bad habits, right? One bad habit leads to another. I probably would have started my day with a little innocent scrolling. But like I say all the time, scrolling is definitely not innocent. The scrolling results in brain rot. Because of the brain rot, I probably would have justified eating junk food. Eating junk food will lead to me just feeling sluggish and not having uh the right focus to make better decisions, right? I probably would have ended up wasting my entire day. And those feelings of wasting potential will only lead to more and more frustration, which will lead to me feeling a greater need to go do more bad habits to stop the frustration. So I realized that I'm sabotaging myself if I stayed in, right? I realized that I'm working hard on creating a better future and I'm on the right path. So I noticed, like, I knew for myself, okay, I need to get out of bed. I need to keep working on what I'm doing. So I ended up just getting out of bed. And my entire trajectory of that day could have been so much worse if I just listened to that single thought of, okay, I'm not going out. I'm just gonna stay in my bed. If I stayed in my room, I would have fed my depression. I would have been about $100 poorer, right? Because I ended up making a sale when I was at work. So, but I made the choice to feed my happiness. And what you need to understand is that your old life path is always on the lure. And you need to reject it fiercely. Because if you don't do that, you will just allow it back into your life like that in a snap. It can be done like that, right? You could be on a good streak for months, years, going on the right path, and just one single action can determine a lot. So that's what you need to understand, because 2 weeks, 3 weeks, things like that, maybe even a month and things like, those time frames are not enough to really change your life. You need to make this a lasting change. And that's why getting out of bed, going to work, finishing those projects, and continuing to working on your mental health is essential. We're not robots. Everybody is susceptible to falling back into his old life path. And right now you're writing a new chapter in your life, but you still crave the familiarity of the old days, because that's just normal for human beings to fear change. So you'll feed yourself those familiar thoughts, right? You'll feed yourself those familiar thoughts of the bad habits in an attempt to not go into the discomfort of change. But it is discomfort that we need to embrace, because actually changing is hard. That is not easy. And each day there are micro decisions to be made that won't be easy. And, they probably will be hard. But they are stepping stones, right? Stepping stones to a better future or a worse future. And those small decisions might seem small, like I've said. Just one wrong decision can determine a lot and sabotage your growth a lot. So we need to stay focused through the discomfort. And for that, I made a quick list, 3 things that will help you. Number 1 is having the right mindset. You need to remember that it's always supposed to be hard when you're going through change. That's just life. And you shoot yourself in the foot by expecting that it should be easy, because you'll get distracted by the thoughts of bad habits. Because distraction, the thoughts of, oh, go indulge in that, go do that, go do this, will always be there. And if you listen to them too much, you will, you will probably, because thinking leads to action. If you think on a bad thought for too long, it will probably result into a bad action. And that's why we need to overcome that, right? So that's also basically the second thing, which I'm gonna give you as a tip, right? So the first one is just knowing that it should be hard, and the second thing is really watching your thoughts and be mindful of what's going on into your head. Because like I said, entertaining the thoughts of distraction for too long can make the difference between falling back into your old habits or staying on track with growth. And then last but not least, you should be going on walks 2 times a day for at least 50 minutes, preferably at sunrise and sundown. What this will do is provide you with the right amount of sunlight, and it doesn't matter whether the sun actually shines bright or not, just the natural light is enough. And yes, even on rainy days. What this will do is provide you with enough vitamin D. Vitamin D is an essential vitamin, and without it, we tend to have low testosterone, and low testosterone is linked with a low dopamine baseline, and dopamine in turn is one of the biggest factor that actually determines if we feel good or not. So by not having the right dopamine baseline, we basically set ourselves up for failure from the start. That's why those daily walks are crucial. It's now still morning, so I will be going on mine in just a couple minutes. So I'm gonna give you a quick summary, right, of this video. That is, once you start your self-improvement journey, you will feel uncomfortable. That's normal, it's a part of it. And what we need to understand is that if we make one bad decision in this vulnerable time, because you're just starting your journey, then we're so easy to fall back into our old unhealthy life. So you need to keep going, and in order to do that, we need to focus on 3 things. That is, having the right mindset, so knowing that it won't be easy, and it's not supposed to be easy. Like I always say, nothing worthwhile to have comes easy. Number 2 is watching our thoughts, so that we won't dwell on the distractions for too long. Dwelling on the wrong thought of a distraction, such as, okay, I need to drink, I need to smoke, things like that, can lead to you just making a bad decision. And if you just, sometimes, you just need to ignore your own thoughts, because thoughts are just always occurring. That's also what I talked about in one of my videos, let the mind chatter, right? The thoughts will always be there, but they don't have to lead necessarily to actions. Sometimes you even get a thought of being aggressive. You don't have to do that. Sometimes you will get the thought of doing this distraction. Same with this, you don't have to do it. That's also funny when it comes to real, actual, serious things. People know that they shouldn't act out on every thought, but when it comes to desires, they let themselves get basically manipulated in that sense too easy. But the same with desires, you don't have to act out on all desires. You don't have to act out on every thought that says, oh, do this, oh, right now this would be very nice, right now some candy would be very nice, right now not going to school would be very nice, right? You don't have to do that. And at last, 2 daily walks to get the right amount of vitamin D that makes sure that our body performs optimal, so that we can set ourselves up for growth. So a little bit shorter video, but a very important video. So my name is Jaranison. Basically, I'm a lifestyle coach. I'm helping people with getting out of depression, mainly just, you know, shifting your identity from a person that's basically unhappy with himself to a person that's happy and productive. So if you want to see more of that content, feel free to subscribe, and yeah, leave a comment on the video if you got something to say for me. And with that, I'm out.